You have 30 days in which to spend 30 million bucks. If you can do it, you get 300 million. But if you fail, you don't get diddly.
Hey, everybody! Anybody want to go to lunch? I'm buying. Yeah!
Brewster? Montgomery Brewster?
Yes, that's me.
I really don't feel very good. I'm starting to lose feeling in my legs.
Stop it! Can't you see this man is faking?
Faking? I can't have this on my conscience. This man's going to be paralyzed for life. The only thing that's silly is the power of the people's vote. And I think the people should use it to vote for none of the above.
Mr. Brewster, with only 10 days left before the election, how do you expect to find that kind of support for that position?
I don't expect to get support. In fact, I'm asking people not to send money into my candidacy. I think the people should keep their money. They're going to need it after this election.
The movie begins with a relief pitcher named Monty Brewster, who plays for the Hackensack Bulls, a struggling minor league baseball team. The field is in such poor condition that the players have to pause every time a train passes through. During a game, Monty tells his best friend and catcher, Spike Nolan, that he's noticed a man taking pictures of him in the stands. The man named Donald has shown up at the last 3 games, leading Monty to believe he might finally be getting recruited to the major leagues. Spike, however, isn't as optimistic. Despite their poor track record, the Bulls manage to win the game. The team heads to a bar to celebrate, where Monty and Spike meet 2 women who claim to be fans. Outside, Donald makes a phone call to his employer, revealing that he's been tracking Monty for days. Moments later, the women's boyfriends arrive and immediately become aggressive after seeing them with Monty and Spike. The confrontation escalates quickly. Tables are overturned, punches are thrown, and chairs become weapons. Onlookers cheer, while others call the police as the fight spirals out of control. The next morning, Monty and Spike wake up in jail. Their coach, Charlie, arrives to inform them that the team's management refuses to pay their bail. He adds that the Bulls are planning to replace older players like Monty with younger talent. Charlie reminds Monty that his 15-year career has lasted longer than most, and that he should be grateful for it. Later that day, Monty and Spike are taken to court and charged with assault and property damage. They try to defend themselves, but their outbursts only irritate the judge, who sets bail at $3,000. Unable to pay, they're about to be taken back to their cell when Donald suddenly steps in. He claims to represent an anonymous party willing to cover their bail and fines, but only if they plead guilty. Believing Donald is a major league scout, Monty accepts the offer without hesitation. Soon after, Donald drives them to New York, unaware that this trip will change Monty's life in ways he could never imagine. Spike starts to panic when they enter a large corporate office, thinking Donaldo is an undercover cop who tricked them with the scout story. Donaldo calmly explains he never said he was a scout and that he works for a law firm. Inside a high-end office, Monty is taken alone to meet the firm's lawyers. They reveal they represent his great-uncle Rupert Horn, who had a major falling out with the family in the 1930s and disappeared soon after. No one heard from him again, until now. Rupert has recently died, leaving behind a massive fortune, and Monty is his only living heir. However, the inheritance comes with strict conditions. The lawyers play a video message from Rupert. Monty is shocked to discover his uncle was white, but Rupert anticipated that reaction and explains that Monty's grandfather had 2 wives, one white and one black. Rupert expresses disappointment in Monty's lack of success and declares that he will teach him the value of money through a challenge. Monty is told he must spend $30 million in 30 days, following a detailed list of rules. By the end of the 30 days, he cannot own any assets other than the clothes he's wearing. He cannot destroy items to get rid of them, and any services he pays for must have real value. Only 5% can be donated to charity. Another 5% can be used for gambling, and he cannot give money away or buy gifts for anyone. The biggest rule, he cannot tell anyone about the challenge. Breaking that rule means instant disqualification. If he refuses the challenge, he can take $1 million immediately and walk away. The lawyers warn him that he doesn't know how to manage money and advise him to take the smaller amount. When Monty asks what happens to the fortune if he refuses, they explain it will remain under the firm's control. After thinking it over, Monty accepts the challenge. He must return in exactly 30 days with nothing left in his name but the clothes on his back. To ensure fairness, the firm assigns Angela Drake, one of their employees, to monitor every expense he makes. As they leave the office, Monty tells Spike only that he's inherited $30 million, leaving out the rest of the deal. He then hires Donaldo as his personal photographer. At the bank, Monty confirms the money is real and withdraws $3 million in cash immediately. The bank manager suggests investment options that would earn interest, but Monty insists on an account with no interest. A decision that confuses Angela, who has no idea about the challenge. Before leaving, Monty offers the bank's security guard a large salary to become his personal bodyguard. He even hires the entire security team to protect him, since he'll be carrying cash. Spike watches all of this in disbelief, worried by how recklessly Monty is spending, but Monty assures him that there's a plan behind every move. Monty calls Charlie and tells him he plans to rent the baseball team, promising new uniforms, a better bus, and higher salaries. Charlie doubts him and ends the call. Monty then hires a random taxi driver to be his personal chauffeur for the month. Angela points out that he could afford a fleet of limousines, so Monty instructs the driver to arrange that. A crowd gathers around Monty and his group, and he invites everyone to lunch. They go to an upscale restaurant, order the most expensive wine, and request that the musicians switch to upbeat songs. During the meal, Monty flirts with Angela, who mentions she has a fiancé named Warren, a lawyer heavily involved in charity work, leaving him little time for her. When Monty offers to pay to meet him, Angela tells him not everything can be bought. News quickly spreads about the eccentric millionaire spending lavishly around the city. When Monty checks into a hotel, reporters are already there. He announces plans to hire many people and names Spike as vice president of his new corporation. Inside the hotel, the manager initially says the top floors are reserved, but changes his mind when Monty offers 10 times the normal rate. Monty's group moves into the luxury suites, and both he and Spike purchase expensive suits. That evening, Warren arrives to pick up Angela. Monty donates money to one of Warren's charities to impress him. Warren praises the art and furniture in Monty's suite, showing deep knowledge of decor. Monty offers him a job as his interior decorator with a large salary, and Warren accepts immediately, disappointing Angela. The next morning, Warren asks his law firm for a month off. They agree on the condition that he secretly monitor Monty's spending. He is not allowed to tell Angela about this. Meanwhile, Monty's new office is crowded with hundreds of employees hired for various small tasks, including an impersonator. Warren contacts his ex-wife, Marilyn, a professional decorator who trained him, to assist with the redesign. Angela becomes upset over this. Monty tries to get Angela's attention by touching her inappropriately. Warren attempts to intervene, but accidentally slips and falls into paint buckets. Marilyn presents several decorating ideas and Monty approves them all, saying there's no limit to the budget. A man then pitches an idea to transport an iceberg from the North Pole to Africa to provide fresh water, asking for $3 million. Monty agrees immediately, ignoring warnings from Spike and Angela that it's likely a scam. Monty also hires a man to use the allowed 5% of his budget to place bets on sports and horse racing. Charlie calls and Monty announces that he's paying for his team to play against the Yankees. He sends helicopters to pick up his teammates and organizes a full welcome party outside the stadium. The players arrive wearing new uniforms and Monty is pleased with how everything looks. He's even rented penthouses for everyone. The lawyers observing the event begin to wonder if they've underestimated him. Monty joins his team on the field, wearing a uniform and training alongside them. News outlets begin covering the upcoming game extensively. That night, Monty brings a woman to his hotel room, but before anything happens, Angela calls and says she needs to discuss something urgent. Monty sends the woman away. Angela and Spike arrive with a financial advisor, hoping to convince Monty to invest wisely. Instead, Monty hires the advisor on a fixed salary and ignores his recommendations. Later, Monty and Spike relax by playing baseball. During the game, Spike suggests investing in valuables like jewelry or stamps. Inspired, Monty visits a collector's shop and purchases the world's most expensive stamp. The next day, the lawyers see this on the news and initially celebrate, thinking Monty has made a mistake by buying an asset. Their excitement fades when they receive a postcard from him. He used the same stamp to mail it. Furious, they contact Warren and reveal the truth about Monty's financial challenge. They instruct him to create an accounting error in Angela's records, promising him a reward if the law firm wins the case. Later, Monty watches the news and discovers that his shares in the iceberg company have tripled in value. Concerned that this will increase his wealth, he orders his staff to sell everything immediately. To make matters worse, the gambler he hired wins all his bets, adding even more money to Monty's account. Panicking, Monty instructs Angela to donate all the extra funds to charity. Meanwhile, Marilyn finishes decorating the hotel room, adding expensive furnishings and details. Monty tells her to add even more. Since Warren is busy helping Marilyn, Angela agrees to have lunch with Monty. She tells him she admires his generosity toward charity. As they leave the hotel, a man accidentally hits their car from behind. The damage is minor, but Monty insists on taking the man to the hospital so he can pay for his treatment. When the man realizes who Monty is, he pretends to be seriously injured. Monty ends up giving him money to cover medical bills and alimony payments to his 2 ex-wives. Angela publicly lashes out at Monty, yelling at him in the street over his reckless behavior. From a nearby window, Warren watches the scene unfold while Marilyn tells him that Angela may not be as composed as he thought, pointing out that she's humiliating herself in public. Later during dinner, Warren confronts Angela about her growing closeness with Monty. The accusation frustrates her, and she storms out of the restaurant. News reports soon highlight Monty's latest splurge. He bought 5 cases of 114-year-old wine at an auction and hosted a public reception where anyone could drink it. Sometime afterwards, Spike and the financial advisor reveal that they've made investments without Monty's approval and earned $10 million. Monty becomes upset, confusing everyone around him. Warren arrives and requests $20,000 as a deposit for renting new furniture. Monty hands him the money, then sends everyone away for some privacy. While watching TV, Monty learns that candidates in the upcoming mayoral election are spending massive amounts of money on their campaigns. Seeing an opportunity to spend more himself, he decides to run for mayor. Angela assumes Monty's decision is motivated by guilt and sees it as his way of giving back to society. During a press conference, Monty tells reporters that voters shouldn't support any candidate, including himself. He later appears on national television claiming that all the candidates are corrupt and that only fools would vote for them. He airs his campaign ads across every state to ensure his message reaches as many people as possible. His brutal honesty about political corruption makes him extremely popular. Angela continues tracking his spending and grows concerned as the remaining money quickly runs out. The 2 real candidates meet privately and agree to retaliate. They sue Monty for emotional distress, and he gladly pays the $4 million fine. Finally, the day of the big baseball game arrives. Monty gives a pep talk to his team, motivating them to take on the Yankees. As the game begins, a train passes by the stadium carrying more of Monty's campaign ads. Monty pitches first, and his teammate catches the ball, taking out the first Yankee. When the next batter steps up, Spike starts taunting him and insulting his wife. The batter loses control and nearly starts a fight, leading to his ejection from the game. Meanwhile, Warren visits the furniture store and returns all the rented items, collecting the deposit money he had spent earlier. The Bulls start strong, managing to hold their own for a while, but the Yankees eventually take the lead. After a powerful home run, Charlie replaces Monty as pitcher. He tells Monty that he performed well and reminds him that facing the Yankees is already an accomplishment. Even scoring a few points is something to be proud of. Monty sits alone in the locker room, frustrated and exhausted after the loss. A representative from the law firm approaches him and explains that if Monty wins the election, the salary he would receive counts as an asset, meaning he would fail the challenge. The game ends with the Yankees defeating the Bulls. Monty gives a speech congratulating them, acknowledging that money can buy influence, but athletic success requires real effort. He officially withdraws from the election, admitting he never intended to win and that his campaign's message was misunderstood. With the little money he has left, Monty decides to spend it all on a public party and inviting everyone to celebrate. Later that night, Angela finishes the financial records, confirming that Monty's account balance is now 0. When Monty arrives to take her to the celebration, Angela refuses. She's disgusted by how recklessly he spent everything and storms out, missing his quiet confession of love as she leaves. At the party, Spike and the security guards search Donaldo's pockets and discover that he's been stealing money. Feeling guilty for Monty's situation, the staff collects cash to help him, but Monty declines their offer. Donaldo quickly reclaims the stolen money. The next morning, Monty wakes up hungover in his hotel room. The manager reminds him that it's time to check out, and workers begin removing everything he rented, including his expensive clothes. Monty puts on his old baseball uniform and takes one last look at the room Marilyn decorated before it's cleared out. As he leaves, the doorman tells Monty that he followed his advice and voted for no one. Later that night, news reports reveal that the election ended with no winner. The majority of voters abstained, exactly as Monty had urged. With only 5 minutes remaining before the midnight deadline, Monty rushes to the law firm's office. In the elevator, Warren stops him and returns the deposit money he had been holding. Realizing that the money now counts as an asset, Monty yells in frustration and tells the lawyers he's ready to give up, prepared to sign the papers that end the challenge. Warren watches from outside the office window as Monty prepares to sign the documents. Angela finds him there and demands to know what's happening. Believing the challenge is already over, Warren confesses everything about the lawyer's plan. Angry, Angela grabs the deposit slip from him and runs into the office to expose the scheme. She attempts to confront Warren, but Monty stops her and punches him instead. Warren threatens legal action for assault, prompting Monty to hire Angela as his attorney using the same deposit money. As the clock nears midnight, Angela quickly writes a receipt for her legal service, officially reducing Monty's balance to zero just before the final second strikes. The will's executor declares that Monty has successfully completed the challenge and now inherits his uncle's entire fortune. He also states that the law firm will be investigated for attempted fraud. Monty celebrates his victory and leaves the office with Angela, finally free from the challenge and ready to begin a new life. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when we drop more videos like this. Thanks for watching.